So in this video we're going to take a look at a distribution map, choropleth map, showing some multiple deprivation measures for Belfast City. And we're going to take a look at how you can use the GIS then to help you to kind of explore some of those patterns going beyond what you would maybe just be able to do on a traditional 2D paper map. So first of all, in case you don't know Belfast, a little bit of the basic geography and layout of Belfast itself. This dotted line here represents the extent of the built-up area, and the red line here represents the motorway and the west link that basically cuts the city in two from the western half and the eastern half here. I'm going to use the measure tool just to give you a bit of a sense of the scale of it. Out here is around about the centre of Belfast. Come out here to the east and you can see that the distance out towards the edge is between kind of typically 4 to 6 kilometres. It goes out a little bit further there, but that's typically the distance that it extends out to the east and to the south. When you come to the west, you'll see that the distance out is closer to kind of 3 to 4 kilometres. This map, the base map already, will give you a bit of an indication as to why, and that's the topography of the area. Belfast is surrounded to the north and to the west by these mountains. I can change the base map to an imagery map to show you that. The upland area there. Actually the edge of the old Antrim Plateau. These are basaltic layers laid up during the time whenever North America was spreading away from Europe. But let me go back to this base map, because now that I've got that out of the way, I want to have an unclouded base map. So the dotted line represents the urban area, and the red line and the west and east, and there is our city centre. Okay. So let me turn on then this multiple deprivation measure layer, and if I show you the legend, you'll see what this is showing. It's a choropleth map based on the ranks for the different super output areas from Belfast. So the higher the rank, the higher the multiple deprivation measure, and the lower the standards of living. So in the first instance, you can see very much that you can take a look at some patterns here, just as you would with a normal print map. If I put on the measure tool again just to help us go from the motorway here, we can see that there's definitely a kind of an inner city area here where the deprivation is concentrated. It's exactly what you would expect, typical of many cities, the inner city area here, especially to the east and to the south. Coming up to the north, and you can see that a kind of about 3 kilometres out, if I spin around there to the east, north, and out here to the west, you're beginning to see that pattern of the inner city deprivation. Now, as I said to you before, the mountains here to the west and to the north means that the growth of Belfast is constrained there. You do get beyond this inner city deprivation out into kind of suburbs with lower ranks in the multiple deprivation measure there, but you can see very much that pattern. Now, that's pretty much what you'll be able to get from any paper map, and that gives you a good idea of the pattern of the distribution of deprivation there. But this being a GIS, we can go a little bit further, because there's an awful lot of information contained in this actual layer here. So if we click on this, the show table one first of all, it's going to give us a wee bit of an indication. Here's the data that we've got. Now I'm displaying at the moment the multiple deprivation measure rank, but if I go into this little plus over here, I can choose the other things that are in this GIS: income, employment, health, education, and let's also choose crime. And you can see that for each of these super output areas, I've actually got information across a whole range of different social and economic measures of deprivation. Because I've got more than one, that means then that we can start to do some really interesting correlation analysis of this. So if I come to this one here, which is my change style, you'll see that I've chosen here the attribute is your multiple deprivation measure rank, but I can add an attribute onto this. So let me choose here the income rank. Take a few moments to draw that down and then to present this for us. Now, let's have a wee look at the key for this one. It's changed slightly. So the lighter colours here are representing the higher values on the multiple deprivation measure rank. So the lighter colours are showing ones that are higher ranking for deprivation. The larger the circles, the higher income. So you can absolutely see that the pattern is beginning to emerge there with that. We stick on a wee measure tool again, just move this a wee bit, and again we can see, especially to the north and to the west, there is a zone here of about 2 to 3 kilometres there where you seem to have a real hotspot of deprivation whenever you link those two together. Now there is another really cool little tool that you can use down here. This is a relationship tool. I'm going to select this and I'll talk you through what it shows. So basically what it's done here is you've got an axis here which is your multiple deprivation measure rank, and then this is your income rank. And the idea behind this is that any of these lighter colours, both of those ranks are low. And of these dark brown colours, both of these ranks are high. In other words, there's a strong correlation between the two ranks. But where you start then to have a difference in the correlation, low and high and low, you get either the orange or the blues. So if this map is dominated mostly by beiges and browns, then there's a very strong correlation between the rank and the multiple deprivation and income. And you can see absolutely that is the case. But you can also see that there's some interesting little anomalies in here, some places where the correlation isn't quite so strong. So what this map will do is maybe flag those up, and you can go and explore them and see if there are any particular reasons why that might be the case. So that shows you a few of the things that you can do with this map. It can show you how you can use a GIS to go beyond just some of those basic descriptions of patterns and really start into that deeper analysis. I'll share this map with you if you want to have a little bit of explore yourself and have a little bit of a play around, and you can let me know what kind of patterns you find.